Before Light Falls. A story by Stephen Creeks. Read for free at stephencreeks.com.
Chapter 8. I watched the GIs gearing up in the courtyard just behind the glass. The whole base was on high alert, and I was stuck on babysitting duty because those were my orders.
Grant?
Carter's voice pulled me out of my head.
Can I ask you a favor, buddy?
You want a smoke?
I surprised myself. How could I still be cracking jokes? Probably some self-defense mechanism I didn't know I had. The kind of thing that kicks in when your brain just can't keep up anymore. Carter gave a tired smile.
No, still no. But you can do something for me. I haven't been out of this room in hours? Days? I don't even know anymore. I need to smell the air. Real air. You have no idea what it's like to be deprived of it for a long time.
He looked up at the window, almost like a kid watching recess through a chain-link fence. Can you take me outside? Just to see the outside world? That phrase hit me right in the chest. The outside world. The guy came from a time where there wasn't one left.
Okay, Carter. You're right. I'll go find you a wheelchair. 5 minutes.
There was a chair in the infirmary storage, an old clunker that probably saw use 3 times a year, best case scenario. When I opened the door, I almost gagged. Dust formed a fine crust on the armrests. Cobwebs hung like sad Christmas tinsel. The leather was cracked, tired, smelling of that stale air typical of things left to rot in a corner. I pulled the chair toward me and tried to make it presentable. A swipe to clear the dust. A rag I found on a shelf. 2 hard slaps to wake the wheels. It was still a rickety old chair, but to Carter, that didn't matter. To him, it was a magic machine, a ticket back to something that didn't exist in his time, open air, the world as it was. I couldn't even imagine what he'd lived through, a life buried under tons of concrete, because everything above was dead. Even my imagination had its limits. I wheeled the chair back to the room. Carter was waiting, sitting up in bed, back against the headboard, arms resting on the sheets. When he saw me come in with the chair, his eyes lit up with a glow I hadn't seen in him yet. A living glow.
Well, ready for the grand tour?
More than ready.
I parked the chair by the edge of the bed. Carter hoisted himself up with his arms. I helped him pivot, shift his weight, and slide properly onto the seat. His hands gripped the armrest tight for a second. Not pain, just emotion. When I pushed him into the hallway, he inhaled softly.
You know, even the air in here, inside, is better than Cellar 1.
We moved slowly. He looked like a kid on Christmas morning. He didn't miss a detail, fascinated by everything he saw. When we reached the double doors, I stopped.
Ready?
Go ahead. Open it.
I pushed the door. The sky had turned blue again, but it was still freezing, an unnatural cold for the middle of August. Carter took a deep breath, just one ecstatic breath, and tears rolled down from his closed eyes.
Christ. I'd forgotten how good it feels. Thank you, Grant.
Just that. 3 words. 3 words that hit me harder than I expected. I put a hand on his shoulder, a gesture to say, no need for more. I'm here, that's all. Carter gave a crooked smile.
When you mourn what the earth used to be, you tell yourself you don't miss it, because you decided not to. But there's nothing further from the truth. I missed it so much. You have no idea.
He looked up at the sky. The sun, back since yesterday, cast a pale, almost shy light.
I missed him, too.
We kept moving past the hangars, down to the line of trucks. That's when I saw him change. The black veil was much closer than the day before. The night was advancing, like a cold wave leaving no light, no color, no life in its wake. Carter stopped dead. His whole body froze.
Grant, what the hell is that?
We don't know. It appeared yesterday, late afternoon, and it's moving. Slowly, but it's moving.
Carter's fingers suddenly dug into the armrests. I'd never seen a man go pale so fast.
Grant, get me back to the room.
Now?
He turned to me, eyes wide, deeply terrified.
Yes, now. Please.
I turned on my heel and pushed the chair back toward the infirmary. My jaw was clenched tight enough to hurt. Carter didn't say another word. He stared straight ahead, features drawn, as if every yard that still separated us from the veil was costing him a piece of himself. I could feel his anxiety like an electric current running up the metal of the chair into my fingers. And that scared the hell out of me.
Carter, you okay?
No answer. Just breath coming too short, too sharp. I pushed faster. Inside the infirmary hallway, the light seemed different, duller, less alive. Carter suddenly grabbed my forearms when I tried to get him back into bed.
Grant.
He looked up at me, and what I saw in his eyes chilled me to the bone. It wasn't ordinary fear. It was something else, a certainty crushing his soul.
Grant, I'm scared. You don't understand. I'm really scared.
Of what? Carter, talk to me.
He inhaled like someone about to confess an idea too crazy to speak aloud.
That veil, that black veil, I think it's coming for me.
What do you mean, for you?
He shook his head nervously, like a man trying to outrun his own thoughts.
Because before I blacked out, when I was in the bird, I think I saw it. That black veil, it's the last thing I remember. It's like I didn't make it, like I didn't survive. Not really. I feel like I stayed up there, in my cockpit, like I'm stuck up there.
He pressed a trembling hand against his temple.
And like I'm not really here.
I couldn't find a thing to say, nothing, because, for the first time, I was afraid he was right.
Carter, we don't know what's happening. Don't jump to conclusions, okay?
He looked up at me again, and that look, God, like something inside him had just snapped.
Don't you get it, Grant? I am the anomaly. I shouldn't be here. And you need to get away from me. Far away. Very far, if you value your life.
Don't talk crap.
Carter grabbed my sleeve with a trembling but desperate grip.
I'm not talking crap, pal. Get out. Now. And if there's anyone who matters to you, anyone you love,
Get them away before it catches up. His words sent an icy shiver down my neck. I took a step back, almost in spite of myself. What if he was right? What if the black veil wasn't a natural phenomenon, but something that came with him? Everything had been going to hell since he arrived, since his crash. Captain Daniels had just appeared in the doorway.
Grant, the Colonel's looking for you. Move it. He's waiting in the Jeep. I'll take over here.
I cast one last look at Carter. His eyes avoided mine. He was shaking. Then I walked out. The cold air whipped my face. I jumped into the Jeep, engine running. I slammed the door behind me, and we picked up speed. Morris turned halfway, features drawn, like someone who hasn't slept in way too long.
I wanted you to see this, Grant. You've been here since the start.
We drove towards Site B, the location of the second crash. And the further the Jeep went, the more the black veil loomed in front of us, immense, impossible to ignore. It grew with every second, as if we were speeding straight into a living night. About 100 yards from the Zone B sign, Morris slowed down. Then he slammed on the brakes. We had arrived. The black veil stood there, silent, perfectly still. 500 yards away, maybe less. A wall of compact darkness planted in broad daylight. Not a cloud, not a shadow. You couldn't make out anything on the other side. It seemed to absorb the light. A night that should never have been there. Several soldiers were already on site. One of them was pulling on an NBC suit, focused, eyes fixed on the thing swallowing the world in front of us. Morris stepped forward heavily.
We don't know what's on the other side, so we're going to find out.
A Jeep was backed up to within 15 feet of the black veil. A steel cable was pulled from the winch and secured around the waist of the NBC soldier. The sound of the metal ratchet, in that silence, felt almost violent. A sergeant checked the carabiner, yanked on it twice, then leaned toward the soldier.
10 seconds, no more. If you feel anything at all, you come back. And if there's a problem, we haul you in. Understood?
The soldier gave a thumbs up. This protocol should have reassured me. It did the exact opposite. A dull dread right there in my gut. He walked straight toward the black veil. Each step echoed on the dry earth. 3 feet from the border, he turned one last time toward us, eyes behind the visor, like a goodbye. Then he took a step. The darkness swallowed him in a single gulp. No scream, no silhouette fading away. A clean erase, immediate. The cable, taut a second ago, suddenly went slack and fell to the ground with a soft thud. Dead, with no one attached to the end. We reeled the cable in. The carabiner was gone. The end of the steel cable was clean, perfectly smooth, like it had never continued any further. No cut, just an end. A brutal silence fell. Then a soldier called out, voice strangled.
O'Connor? O'Connor!
Hold it, Jenkins. What are you looking for?
Another soldier tried, even louder.
We're here, O'Connor. Follow our voices if you can hear us.
No answer. Nothing. The black veil didn't even return an echo. A corporal took a step back. Aside from the sound of our boots, no one breathed a word. Even the wind had stopped. I saw Morris straighten up very slowly. His gaze remained fixed on the spot where the soldier had vanished. His jaw clenched, a tiny sign, but on him it was a crack in the armor. He finally spoke, a strong, firm voice.
Listen to me. O'Connor just disappeared. He wasn't attacked, wounded, or anything else. We don't know what's happening behind that veil. He passed into a zone we don't understand. It's not magic, it's a physical phenomenon. And we're going to figure out which one. If we want to help him, that's the only thing to do. Prep Unit Charlie. Flamethrowers.
He shot me a brief glance, as if to assure himself that he still believed what he was saying.
We're going to test the veil's thermal reaction. We need to know how it responds to aggression.
The men looked at each other, not hesitant, just terrified in silence. But the order was given, and when Iceman Morris gives an order, you execute it. A new jeep arrived. 2 soldiers got into position, flamethrowers on their backs, steel tanks shining under the cold sky. A third checked the lines, shook a valve, nodded. Morris turned to them.
You do not cross the line. You fire your payload from a distance, on my signal, and you stay ready to fall back. Clear?
Clear, Colonel.
The squad deployed. The roar of the flamethrowers lit up with a violent crack. The black veil waited, motionless, indifferent, like none of this mattered in the slightest. Morris turned to me, and then I understood immediately. His eyes had changed. They didn't have quite the same assurance anymore.
Grant, can you handle the truth?
I swallowed. The question wasn't military. It was human.
I think so, Colonel.
We can't fight this phenomenon, can't stop it, can't slow it down. We have no grip on it.
He paused, scrutinizing me, as if what followed would decide something crucial.
You're from Henderson, Grant? I mean, really from here? A local boy?
Yes, Colonel.
Then listen to me closely, Sergeant. This black veil, this night, call it what you want, is heading for the base. And after that, there's Henderson. The base, I'll handle. You and Captain Daniels, you join my men around the town. I want you to organize the evacuation. I don't know how fast this thing is moving. You might have 24, 48 hours, no more. You're going to have to convince families to leave their whole lives behind. And believe me, that's not going to be simple. That's why I'm sending you. Not some military grunt they don't know. A local guy. Before you're a soldier, you're one of them. Get everyone moving in that direction, as far as possible from this night.
His gaze locked onto mine.
Can I count on you, soldier?